All right, Daily News Hub is where we start this morning. Federal government intervenes in Dangote NMP DPR face-off, moves to resolve dispute as minister meets with Dangote FG agencies. Now, bottom page, hashtag end bad governance, how Tinubu can avert nationwide protests, and that's coming from the NLC president.
Okay, let's look at the Daily News Hub. Okay, the Standard Times. Sees feud over crude oil supply, alleged substandard products, reps to Dangote Refinery and MDPRA. And then other stories, court rules in favor of NEC, KEDCO, as DISCO urges reconciliation with customers. That's over electricity tariff on page 14 of the paper.
Nigerian pilot panic over protest. NLC asks federal government to address economic woes before it's too late. Says government must heed the voices of aggrieved populace as planned protest approaches. Federal government explains Tinubu's 6.2 trillion naira supplementary budget request on page 4.
Okay, let's see the Daily Times. NLC to Tinubu address public grievances amid looming national protests. Urges president to invite protest organizers for dialogue. Tinubu, traditional religious leaders caution youths against planned protests. These are the writers to that big story on page 2 of the Daily Times. Federal government assures of proper utilization of 6.2 trillion naira additional budgetary expenditure.
The Nigerian News Direct, no protest needed. We're tackling, I beg your pardon, hardship, economic downturn, and that's coming from Tinubu. Food inflation, we share your pain, half the salaries, reps, speaker, dialogue with protesters, avoid confrontation, coming from the NLC president. Can Labour, Students' Union, and others disown planned protest back federal government? You also want to see above the masthead a sub-suspend strike as NBT succumbs to demand.
Okay, the Daily Asset is up next. Heed voices of the aggrieved populace. Ajero tells Tinubu planned protest genuine expression of citizens' anguish, demonstration in the interest of the masses, SDP says. And then you have 12-story buildings at risk of collapse in Jos, says Wufwang, inaugurates technical committee to investigate July 12 incident.
The First News looks at that story opposite the masthead with the picture of the candidate of the PDP. Edo Guba says appeal court upholds PDP primary, keeps Ighodalo as candidate. Well, you can't smack a child and ask them not to cry. NLC begs Tinubu to engage planned protest leaders. President talk to youths, Ndume concurs. Onanuga slammed anti-government protest claim, Igbo-phobic, hateful, says Ohaneze, as Utomi threatens 500 billion naira to demands proof.
This Nigeria. Senate begins probe of alleged economic sabotage in petroleum sector. Minister Lokobiri waits into Dangote Petroleum Regulatory Authority crisis. And then other stories. Let's look at this note just at the bottom of the page. National Assembly wants domestic servants included in 70,000 naira national minimum wage scheme. President's wife commenced reps on bill seeking 70 slots for women. Page 7 has details.
And the People's Daily looks at reps probe price hike, alleged importation of adulterated fuel. You also want to look at that story. Federal government assures of prudent utilization of 6.2 trillion naira additional budgetary expenditure. Politicians fingered in subsidized fertilizer diversion in Niger State.
All right, the Nigerian Tribune, don't undermine federalism, political parties, others won. And that's about the bill to establish local government electoral commission on page 15. The stories, Enugu security forces issue stern warning to sit-at-home promoters, say, quote, will appear to you like a ghost and deal with you like a ghost. That's on page 27 there.
The Business Day looks at Nigeria's debt burden, sets off reform alarm, and then bottom page, Nigeria's long battle against inflation continues as MPC decides. Biden's exit sets example for Nigerian leaders, and that's coming to you front page from Business Day. Also says what to expect from economy in the next 6 months, and that's on page 36 of the Business Days.
Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you won't miss out any of our latest video.